Now, the MSU Federal Credit Union Coaches Show.
And to have the team run out onto the field, have them all celebrate, have the announcement come over the PA, was pretty overwhelming.
I don't think I could have ever imagined something like this. Even growing up, I mean, this is just like a dream that you probably wouldn't even think could ever come true.
When you win a championship, you're always going to be thinking about, can we do it again? But it's really hard to stay in that same mentality.
To the sideline, picked off! Mike Sainristil!
You have to go back and look at it, face it, and then get better from it and understand why it happened.
It's safe to say last Saturday's loss to number 2 Michigan was less than ideal for Michigan State's football team. A 49-0 defeat marked the worst loss in the 100-year history of Spartan Stadium. It was also the first time since 1985 Michigan had shut out MSU on this field. Not a lot went right for the Spartans, so we had to discuss with interim head coach Harlan Barnett this week what went wrong. Obviously, Saturday was a day you probably want to erase from the memory bank in a way, but how do you sort of process what happened against Michigan and move on at the same time?
That's a great question. It's a tough thing. It's a tough process, first of all, but you have to go back and look at it, face it, and then get better from it and understand why it happened. And those are the things that we had to process within our 24-hour rule. And I think we did that. Our guys know that, hey, when these moments come, and we'll have more this season, that we have to be more disciplined in everything that we do. I keep talking about discipline, 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 and I'm hoping that it finally starts to sink in with our guys on an every day, every down basis. And so they know it's very, very important of you doing your job each and every time, not take off a play here or there. Do everything that you've been coached to do. 11
penalties, obviously, against Michigan, same against Washington. And you sort of said after the game, too, you were going to maybe change the approach that you took with the guys. You were obviously trying to keep them together for as weird as of a season this has been. So how do you now kind of become more of a disciplined coach and hold them more accountable?
Well, and again, that's been me for my whole career. Like I said, that was more of just trying to make sure we stay unified. But now they understand. The guys that are here, they want to be coached that way anyway. It was just some other guys that were hanging on the fringes that they had to either get in or get out. And so they understand that, and we were good today.
You mentioned the word fight a lot of times. So did Nathan Carter after the game. What does having a player like that really do for the program to sort of hold everyone together? He seems like he's very well spoken. He's a leader, even though this is his first year with the program. What does a player like that do to help you as a coach?
It does a lot, because we always talk about, everybody always talks about a player-led team is better than a coach-led team. And so he's one of our leaders, even though he's a silent leader at times, but they respect him, and we expect him to start speaking up even more than he does because of the respect for how hard he works and how he takes care of business and how he does his business.
They'll probably drop out. Swing it, Edwards, catch, run, blocking, Edwards, first down!
And another conversion on 3rd and long for Michigan. And right now, they are 4 for 4 on 3rd down against the best 3rd down defense in the Big Ten.
There were a few times throughout the game they had 3rd and long, and they're still able to convert it. What is it about those situations that you think a defense can struggle and they were able to have success on those?
Well, we've been good at them, really good on 3rd and longs this season. And then all of a sudden, again, the moment was a big moment. You got to be, I said this before about my father and his saying, when the crowd starts hollering and the lights get hot, that's when I want to know if you can do it or not. So when it's that time, it's crunch time, even on a 3rd down situation, you got to get out the field. You have to even turn your focus up to another level if that's possible. You got to be locked all the way in, understand the situations. We didn't work them all. I told you they didn't do anything really different. So you're anticipating certain things happening and coming your way, and then you just do your job.
Did you get a sense that from certain players that this was too big of a moment for them?
Yeah, if I'm answering honestly, yeah, too big, because you're doing things that's out of character. That's not, we did this all week and you never did that. Now you're doing this. What is that about? So it might have got a little too big for them, but it's a learning experience. and hopefully that pays off in the future for Michigan State football.
Yeah, obviously this is a whole new experience for you. I know you've been coaching for a while, but this season has been a little different for you. How has this really tested your faith, or how have you really leaned on your faith to help you get through these challenging times right now?
Majorly. Oh man, so yeah, I've questioned God a couple times. Hey man, what's going on? But you know, but at the same time, I know He wouldn't give me more than I can bear. So then he trusts me to still, you know, because I'm never gonna not lean on Him and trust in Him. So okay, He see me as that guy that can stand up and hold it up. I'm gonna stand up and hold it up, and He's helping me obviously. So I'm just gonna keep leaning that way.
The Spartans will play at Minnesota today at 3:30 on the Big Ten Network, looking to end a 5-game losing streak. And when we come back, we're going to shift our focus to a program who has had success this fall and just captured their 2nd straight Big Ten title. We'll see you soon.
This segment is sponsored by Shoepad.
Experiencing a Spartans game is a lot like life. Farm Bureau Insurance sees the connection and is a proud supporter of Michigan State athletics. Find an agent who can protect what matters to you.
They say you shouldn't. You wouldn't dare. They say you're not strong enough. Don't have the drive. Lack the inspiration. The world is full of people who will tell you what you can't do. Just say 2 words. I will. There are no small dreams. Begin with an idea. Start now. Dream big with MSU FCU, federally insured by NCUA.
Welcome back to the MSU Federal Credit Union Coaches Show.
So this past Sunday, the Michigan State women's soccer team took down Iowa 3-0 to claim the program's 2nd consecutive Big Ten title. Graduate senior Celia Gaynor had the honor of hoisting the trophy after the match. And actually, this is not the first time she has won a championship on this field. As our Tyler Driesinga shares, everything came full circle for Celia this past Sunday.
As a junior in high school, Celia Gaynor helped lead Pontiac Notre Dame Prep to the 2016 state championship. The Fighting Irish won the title at DeMartin Stadium, a full 6 years before Gaynor ever attended Michigan State.
That was crazy. Thinking back, it's just awesome that I was able to win that year here at this school, and I wasn't coming here for college, but I think there's something about this field that I just have a connection with.
The 2016 state championship is one of 3 unforgettable championship moments in Gaynor's soccer career, and it's the only one she experienced without her younger sister Justina on her team. Celia is 2 years older than Justina. As far back as she can remember, they've been inseparable.
Throughout our whole lives, we've been glue sticks. That's what my mom will call us. She would always tell us to be like glue sticks, as we were growing up. But I think as we've gotten older and as we've experienced more in both just life and sports, we've just grown closer. We're together all the time.
When Celia went off to college at Butler, the sisters assumed their days of playing on the same team were over. But 2 years later, the glue sticks were back together.
When she told me that she was coming to Butler, that was just awesome. That was the best thing I could have heard because we're so close. And like I said, it wasn't what we were originally planning on, but it was something that just happened to work out, and just getting to play with your sibling at a college level is just something that most people don't get to experience.
Celia and Justina both entered the transfer portal in 2021. Once again, they assumed their days of playing together were over. Once again, they were wrong.
When she committed here, I was still figuring it out. I wasn't committed here yet, so I watched a few of their first games in 2021, and I saw how much this program has already turned around in those first few games. So I had an opportunity to talk with Jeff, and I told him that I'd love to be part of this, and he gave me the opportunity to come here, and I could not be more grateful.
In their first season back together at MSU, the Gaynor sisters played a pivotal role in guiding the Spartans to their first ever Big Ten title, a title they clinched on the road with a win over Ohio State.
How quickly did you seek out Justina and embrace her, and do you remember what you told her that moment or anything at any point that night?
Most of us didn't know that by winning that game we won it last year. I did. I don't even know how I knew that. I remember that I did know that we had to win, but most people like Justina had no clue. And so when the game ended, she was bawling her eyes out and like hysterically crying. And I remember that I was just like, why are you crying? She's like, I had no idea that we were gonna win that. So our reactions were completely different, but I remember finding her in the locker room and giving her a huge hug. And it's like a state of shock, honestly. Like, it took a few days to process what even happened, and honestly, not until after the season did it really truly process that we did what we did.
And how did the feeling last year compare to the feeling this year?
Last year was just surreal, honestly. It seemed like we broke a record every game. Obviously going undefeated is almost unheard of, and this year, obviously having the tough result against Penn State earlier in the season, it was more of a grind, honestly. Not that last year wasn't a grind, but this year having to come back from that loss and regroup and refocus and still believe in ourselves and believe that we can do this. Honestly, this year was just honestly more shocking to me.
Last Sunday's Big Ten championship win brought everything full circle for Celia Gaynor. Her third championship moment came on the same field as her first, and this time her sister was by her side. The Glue Sticks had overcome the odds, sticking together throughout their college careers and winning back-to-back Big Ten championships.
And if you had to pick just one word to describe your soccer experience at Michigan State, what would it be?
I would say surreal. Yeah, I couldn't even imagine this would be what would happen within 2 years. Obviously, I'm so grateful that it did happen, and this is what the program has become, and I'm excited for what is to come still. But yeah, surreal.
Celia says winning the Big Ten title here with her sister and her entire family in the stands is truly special, even though she won't realize how special until later down the road. When we come back, we're going to sit down with the other Gaynor, Justina, to see what her perspective is like playing with Celia. We'll be right back.
This segment is sponsored by the Lansing Sports Commission.
Welcome back to the MSU Federal Credit Union Coaches Show.
Even with 15 new players on the roster, 10 freshmen, and 5 transfers, the Michigan State women's soccer team was still able to claim back-to-back Big Ten titles. Justina Gaynor is one of the key returners from last year's squad, and even though the Shelby Township native is planning on returning next season for a 5th year, our Haley Schoengart has more on how Justina is cherishing this season with her sister.
You know, they say winning something the second time, it's a little bit sweeter. Was that true for you guys this past weekend?
I don't know if I would say it was more exciting or less exciting, but it definitely got us going. We were so excited.
Walk me through when you figured out that you all had officially won.
I had known going in that we had the chance of winning it over the weekend, and I knew that we needed a little bit of help from another team, but we stayed focused on the game. I stayed focused all the way till the end, and right when there was 10 seconds left, I heard the announcer start counting down from 10, and I looked over to the bench, and there was a little bit of commotion, and then a loud cheer, and at that moment I knew that we had done it, and I was just so excited, and the ball went out of bounds, and it didn't even matter. I was just so excited.
All season, everyone has been talking about this year's team compared to last year's team. What did you feel like the statement was winning the Big Ten regular season title?
Obviously, last year we had a great team, a phenomenal team. We had some great players, great people, great leaders that unfortunately graduated and had to move on. So coming into this year, there were a lot of people that were talking, how are you going to do this? You lost your entire back line. You lost your goalkeeper. You lost so many, again, key pieces. And I think for us, it was just making the most of what we had, adapting, being the best that we could be, and not listening to the outside noise of how are you going to do it again, or just those feelings of disbelief, because again, we had all the belief that we needed in ourselves. And I think it did make a statement just about our program, and that we can have continued success with the people that we have and the mindset that we have, and that we can continually get results time and time again with just, again, our mindset, our attitude, our commitment, and our hard work and dedication.
To get to win the Big Ten title, not only once but twice, and do it with your sister, how special has these last 2 years been for you?
Oh yeah, I mean, I don't think I could have ever imagined something like this. Even growing up, I mean, this is just like a dream that you probably wouldn't even think could ever come true. And doing it with my sister has just been amazing. I mean, we're best friends. We do everything together. Sometimes people think that we're twins, and sometimes I think that we're meant to be twins. But so having her by my side and me being by her side, it's been so fun, so great. Yeah, like we lift each other up, we tell each other when things need to be better, and it's very cool having your best friend by your side through everything.
Growing up, is she the one that got you into soccer, or is that more of something your parents or your grandparents?
No, it was my parents. My mom was the basketball person and my dad was more on the soccer side, so we both played both sports growing up, but we both got into soccer at a really young age. Obviously she started maybe 2 years ahead of me, but I always just followed in her footsteps.
You and Celia both went to Butler originally and then decided to come back together here to Michigan State. Was there ever a decision, maybe one of you stay, one of you go? What made you both want to come back to MSU and do it together?
We didn't really know what the plan was. There was no plan. It was a true leap of faith putting our names in that portal. But Jeff had reached out and it just made so much sense to come home, be close to my family. And so then when Celia decided to come here, obviously I couldn't be more excited. It was an individual choice for both of us, and I think that we made the right one.
We know about the Gaynor sisters and what they pack on the pitch every single time you guys have a match, but what's the legacy you want to leave when people look back and think of Justina Gaynor?
I think that I just want to be remembered by my work ethic and my commitment to the team. I think that on the field I provide a lot of consistent energy, consistent hard work, and if that's one thing that I can be remembered for is she never stopped fighting, she never stopped working. And then off the field, I think just a good teammate, always looking out for other people and trying to bring the best out of other people. If I fail or if I'm successful, at least that I had the attempt there, and that I want to be remembered as just a good, kind, and motivational teammate.
Well, now that you heard how the players reacted to the final outcome on decision day, what about the mastermind behind all of this? Third-year head coach Jeff Hostler. When we come back, he's going to sit down with us to share the moment he knew the Spartans would be back-to-back Big Ten champs.
This segment is sponsored by MSU Healthcare.
Welcome back to the MSU Federal Credit Union Coaches Show.
Coming into Sunday, the MSU women's soccer program didn't just need to beat Iowa in order to be Big Ten champs, they also needed Wisconsin to beat Penn State. Both games were happening at the same time on Sunday, so the players had no idea what was happening in the other game. That is until third-year head coach Jeff Hostler showed his cards when he realized the program was about to be Big Ten champs once again. First thing, you get the trophy. Where you got that sitting right now?
Oh, it's in the office, right next to the other one. You know, obviously, like we did last year, we were the first trophy at Jenison to go in the new trophy case that was converted. So,
is it nice now seeing two have company with the other one from last year?
Oh yeah, it was getting lonely. You know, I don't want to make that thing wait too long. So, excited to have a partner.
Yeah, going back to Sunday, obviously going in, you guys didn't know your fate, what could happen by the end of the match. So, what was the approach heading into the game against Iowa?
Yeah, just really what it's been the last couple weeks. You know, I think we started pretty slow at Indiana a couple weeks back. That was a big marquee top 25 game. We didn't really get out of the locker room in the first half, and I think there was a little bit of scoreboard watching going on. We'd been back now in the rankings at that time. We knew their ranking, we knew where we stood in the league. I just think we started really slow. And so we had an honest conversation about reminding all of us about what the process is, which is focusing on the day, giving your best effort, preparing, and putting your best foot forward.
So when, towards the end of the match, less than a minute left, I know it hit you first, you found out first, right, that Wisconsin had beat Penn State?
Yeah, so we were getting consistent updates. You know, Julie Burgess, our sport admin, that just does an incredible job with all things related to our program and beyond for that matter, had to wear one more hat on the day and keep track of all the scores of those matches to know where we are, and also keep track of Iowa's situation, because on decision day, results can change how you see the game out based on the number of points that you need for seeding, whether they get in the tournament if they have to go for it late, that can change their tactical approach. So it can kind of give us sometimes an indicator of how your opponent may change in addition to things you may change. So we got those updates. We heard about Wisconsin's goal, roughly 7-8 minutes left in the contest. And then the countdown was kind of on.
Do you remember the first player that went over to hug you or just kind of like celebrate with you?
So with about 90 seconds left, maybe 2 minutes, I did like a walk down the bench because I think we had the ball in the attacking half. And I kind of welled up a little bit. And players on the sideline, you could hear the whispers and like the elbow nudges, like, wait, I think that's a good sign. Like I think this could be happening. And clearly aware of the situation, came back. Reagan Cox was on the bench at the time, who's been so instrumental since we got here, and what we've been able to do. Is kind of cool to share that moment with her. So I whispered to her and said, look, you got to keep your poker face, but when that clock hits 0, we're gonna win the Big Ten. We're gonna be Big Ten champs, and I want you to have the honor of telling the whole team.
Yeah, to see the team celebrate last year winning the Big Ten title and then having players like that be able to celebrate again this year, what was sort of their mindset coming into this year after what you guys were able to achieve last year?
When you win a championship, you're always going to be thinking about, can we do it again? Wanting to do it again. You want to chase it, but it's really hard to stay in that same mentality. What made last year's group so great was we could play the underdog card every time. Because every time it was a massive win, something that hadn't been done in a long time. No one was frankly expecting it at that time. This year's group's different. When you've won it, you have a bit of expectation. Well, you have a lot of expectation, both internally within the program and externally. So I think maybe we're more prepared from the mindset because we've had the experiences.
The expectations now within this program, obviously when you win 2 straight Big Ten titles, it probably changes a little bit, but this is where you want it to be, right? This is why you came to Michigan State?
Yeah, 100%. Like I'll take all the expectations that come with it. Thrilled with the standard that we've been able to set in 3 years now. To do it in such an elite conference like the Big Ten. Definitely last year put us on the national map. This should put us in the elite national conversation in terms of women's soccer in our country.
So the Spartans will now be the 1 seed in the Big Ten tournament as they welcome Iowa back here at DeMartin Stadium for the first round matchup on Sunday. There's a lot of things happening on campus right now with fall sports and winter sports such as basketball starting to blend together. So we'll of course be keeping you updated on everything that is happening in East Lansing. For now, thank you for tuning in to this week's show. As always, have a great weekend.
This segment is sponsored by Spartan Dogs for Life.